Is this P.M.R.Bonez88's?
Speaking?
Good. Because I have one question for you. Do you like scary movies?
Who is this? Hey guys, this is P.M.R.Bonez88, and today for my next horror slasher movie review, Scream. So this film came out in December of 1996, and it was also directed by none other than the famous director Wes Craven, may he rest in peace, and was also written by Kevin Williamson. So both Wes and Kevin Williamson did work together on all four of the Scream movies. And it also stars Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, and Drew Barrymore. It's funny that her name was just slapped in the movie poster, and sure, she was a familiar actress and she was also a star. But technically, she was only there just for the beginning, and then she just gets killed off, and the only real main character was Sidney Prescott. So Scream hit up to 173 million worldwide, and it was the highest grossing slasher movie in the late 90s. And how surprising it was. Excuse me. Hello?
Hello, P.M.R.Bonez88. Remember me?
You again?
Yeah.
Who are you?
My name isn't that important. The main question that I asked you 7 months ago is, do you like scary movies?
Well, you know what? You know what you're doing? You're interrupting me. I mean, you called me like 7 months ago, and I am reviewing this movie that you told me to.
Yes, you have. But you haven't answered my question, though.
You tell me who you are.
I'll tell you who I am if you answer my question first.
Well, if you don't mind, I have a movie to review. So, how about don't call me back ever until you tell me who you really are. Otherwise, I'm going to call the cops. Got it?
It's more difficult than I thought. My master isn't going to be so pleased. I better report this to him.
Sorry for the interruption, folks. I just got a weird phone call by the same person that just called me 7 months ago. It was during the time when I was reviewing Babadook. And whoever he is, he better stop calling me, because it's getting ridiculous. So anyways, originally Scream was going to be called Scary Movie. I mean, in the script it was titled as Scary Movie, but since now the Dementia film brought the rights to this film, they decided to change the title because it wouldn't work out and it would sound probably ridiculous or goofy. So they decided to call it Scream, and I can see why in that spoof comedy horror film, Scary Movie, so they got that right to the title. So this movie is actually a survival guide to show you how to survive in a horror movie. Really, how surprising if those of you try to survive it and you just gotta follow the rules. If you don't follow the rules, you're dead. But if you do follow the rules, you will survive. But either way, you're still gonna die. So this movie starts out with Drew Barrymore making some popcorn and starting to watch a movie until she gets a strange phone call by a strange person. And however, she gets a little annoyed and very aggravated, and then the same person that called her just threatens her, scares the shit out of her, and gives her some trivia questions. The best favorite part ever, when he asked her name the killer in Friday the 13th, and her response was Jason Voorhees. That was a trick question, to be honest with you guys. because he didn't say any of the sequels. He didn't say Friday the 13th Part 2, Part 3, 4, 6, 7. None of the sequels. He said Friday the 13th only. So if someone asks you, name the killer in Friday the 13th, the real answer would be Mrs. Voorhees, Jason's mother, because Jason didn't show up until the sequels. And those of you who are a horror expert, you should know that's definitely Jason's mother, because she was the main killer. And if those of you didn't, then you should start watching the first Friday the 13th movie. So now the killer is revealed to be is known as Ghostface, and he goes after her and then he kills her and then just slices her, just cuts her open and rips out like her intestine, just like wraps around her neck and hangs around the tree. That was the most biggest gory movie ever. The mask of Ghostface didn't really scare me too much. I just find it more interesting because I always wanted to get my hands on that mask and the full-on costume. I did dress up as Ghostface on Halloween when I was 11. I didn't really get the full-on costume. I only got was the mask itself. I only had was the bleeding scream mask. Is where I had the heart and I had to pump it up. And every time when we go and say trick or treat, all the neighbors started to get scared and be so afraid of me. They almost wanted shitting their pants or pissing their pants actually. I kept pumping the heart and all the blood just like gushed out of my mask. And I kept getting more and more candies. They say, here, take it, take the whole candy. Just stop bleeding, please. I was enjoying myself. Even I was laughing while I was doing that. Up to the next day, we meet up is Sidney Prescott. She's the main character and the hero throughout this film. Introduced to Cindy's boyfriend, Billy, along with her friends Stu and Rose Madawan's character, Riley. Which she's also familiar. I've seen her in other films besides Scream, and she was also in the Charm series. She played as Paige Matthews. And lastly, we had the film geeky nerd Randy Mink, who played by Jamie Kennedy. Randy actually resembles me. He reminds me of me so much because I'm into the films as well. I'm into like all the movies and I know all these movies so much. I even love talking about them. I'm like a spin-off to him, except I'm a little different, just, you know, being all cool, badass kind of nerd. Randy, he's just a full-on geek nerd who wears like sometimes geeky clothing, but it was the 90s. So now Cindy was the main target to the Ghostface killer. But there's an interesting background story about Cindy. Apparently that her mom was killed by a homicidal maniac. Well, actually, not really a maniac, but a guy that was being accused for murdering Cindy's mother. Necessarily, she always gets be the target, and a lot of people make fun of her, or even in high school. The scene where the cheerleader was making fun of Cindy and mentioning her mom being a slut because Cindy's mom made out with Billy's father. And technically that is so low. That is really extremely mad low. I hated that scene. So anyways, what Cindy said to the killer that everyone should have just goes to the door instead of going up the stairs. But what does she do? She goes up the stairs anyways. I mean, what the fuck? She was supposed to be the smart girl, not the dumb one. So anyways, the killer just disappears and then Billy just reappears out of nowhere. And then she realizes that she thinks Billy was the prank caller. So lately he got blamed for it and then he gets arrested for it. And there we introduced to the news reporter Gail Weathers, which was played by Courtney Cox. She always picks on Cindy a lot. Another best scene ever is where Cindy just punches Gail Weathers right in the face. That was climactic. I'll send you a copy. Boom! Right in the face. Now there are some good moments of Scream. It's where the principal goes in and out to see who was knocking on the door. And the principal was also played by the Fonz. When he came back again to check who it was in the hallway, and there was a cameo which was the janitor played by Wes Craven, and he wore was the Freddy Krueger sweater and the fedora hat. You could definitely tell that was the sweater from the first film, because the sleeves were fully on red and the fedora hat was gray, so that's definitely part one. And then there was another good moment where Randy was explaining how to survive in a horror film. And there were 3 rules that you need to survive in it. Rule number 1, never have sex. But eventually, that's broken. Rule number 2, never drink beer, because it's a sin, according to what Randy says. But anyways, that's broken too. And rule number 3, never ever say, I'll be right back. Because you'll never be back. Because you always wind up being dead.
I'm getting another beer. You want one?
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
Oh! Oh, snap! He did not just say that. What in the ass? All 3 rules broken. Go kababai. When Cindy and Billy reunited and make love in the bedroom, surprisingly that the killer Ghostface just kills Billy and then he goes after Cindy. Now there's a big surprising and a twisting ending. If those of you who do not watch Scream, skip to this timeline where I rate this film. But those of you who did see Scream and you know who the killer is, go on and continue watching it. So I'll be waiting for you in about 3 seconds. Okay, time's up. So the killer was revealed by Billy and Stu. They were the 2 main killers. Billy explains to Cindy about why were they doing this, because of Cindy's mom making out with Billy's father. So Cindy fights back. Cindy kills Stu with the TV, and then she goes after Billy, but then Billy almost tries to kill Cindy. But luckily, Gale Weathers just saves the day and shots him right in the chest. So the big climactic ending where Cindy just shoots Billy right in the head. So after done talking about this film, this movie is really interesting, and it explains you how to survive in a horror film. Not to mention the mask wasn't really that scary. I thought it was pretty funny and really interesting, even when they titled Scream, because the mask does look like the Scream portrait. Because the guy does look like he was screaming, and I guess that's where they got that from. And with the characters, such as with Neve Campbell playing Sidney Prescott, I think she did a damn good job of portraying this character, showing her how to be strong and how to survive. And Courtney Cox and David Arquette, I think they look great working together. The storyline, the script was really written well thanks to Kevin Williamson. I think he did a really good job on it. And even so that they did 3 more Scream movies. And I've been hearing rumors that there's going to be a 5th Scream movie. I'm not sure if the rumors are true. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Probably is, because they're probably working into production right now. And hopefully if they bring back the original cast members back from the Scream movies, that'll be awesome. And probably introduce some new characters as well from the generations. That'll be even more awesome too. So just to rate this film for Scream, I would have to give it about 9.2 out of 10, which equals to 92%. So the grade of this will be equal to an A-. For a horror slasher film like Scream, was really great, and even when you had to survive a horror film, you gotta at least try to survive on them and following the 3 rules of it. You're gonna break the rules anyway, so what's the point following them? I gotta get my hands on that costume, because sure it made me look ridiculous, but it's still a badass, because I really gotta get my hands on that costume. But I'm not like gonna go around terrorizing, being Ghostface and saying, do you like scary movies? I'm not gonna do that. I'm probably do it just for fun, or maybe dress up like him in Comic-Con when I go back there again for this year. And I do own this movie on Blu-ray and DVD. And this is P.M.R.Bonez88's signing off. His saying is, peace!
Careful. This is the moment when the supposedly dead killer comes back to life for one last scare.
Not in my movie.
My master, he's more difficult than I expected. What must I do?
How unfortunate. If he is unable to talk to you, then you must do the impossible.
And if he refuses to talk?
Then you will find the others that knows Bones. Hunt them down. Force them to talk. Where he is. Can it be done, my apprentice?
He will talk, or he will die, my master.